Welcome to another 7-minute guide with us here at Fantasy North. Today we're painting an order of our Martyred lady, Battlesister, using mainly contrast paints. As with most of my contrast-heavy projects, we start with a Senatorial Prime model. Start out by painting all the armor in Black Templar. When I paint with contrast, I tend to section off the model, like various zones, and load up my brush with a bit too much paint, and move it around until I paint a whole section. Then remove any excess from that section, so it doesn't pool. The reason why I paint contrast in small sections is so that the sections doesn't pool into each other, giving me much more control with the paint. I will also add a list of the paints I used at the end of the video. When painting flesh tear over a large area, it pools very easily, so be very careful with this stage. That being said, flesh tear red is probably my favorite contrast paint. Use wildwood for all the pistol holsters, scabbards, ammo bags, wood parts on the crossbow, etc. We're gonna use gore granta for the leather straps to give it a different feel than other leather, but if you wanna save some time you could use wildwood for this stage as well. Time for the metals. Be super neat in this stage, so you don't mess up your previous paint job. We're gonna start out with lead belcher as base for our grey metals. Also be neat when it comes to washing your brush, so you don't spoil your contrast or wash with metal pigments. Wash all the grey metals in Nuln oil. You could probably use Basilicanum Grey for this part as well if you want even darker metals. That's the grey metal done for now, and we're moving on to the gold. We're gonna start out with Retributor gold. I recommend being careful when applying gold, as less is more when it comes to gold on a Battlesister. Apply a shade of Agrax in a thin layer over all the gold. With all the washes dry, we can highlight the metal. Add a 50-50 mix of Stormhouse Silver and Liberated Gold as a highlight to the Retributor armor. We're gonna use pure Stormhouse Silver to highlight all the grey metal. Don't worry if there's a lot of contrast between the light and the dark parts of the metal, as it works really well if you look at it on the tabletop. moving on to the iconography, we're gonna make them white. So we're gonna start out with Grayshair. And then highlight with Koroks White. A great tool here is to use Lamian Medium to thin out the paints, and then use Apothecary White to blend them together if the transition is too sharp for your taste. As you can see, I messed up my red, so we're gonna use Mephiston Red to highlight it and fix any uneven parts in the Flesh Terror. Finally, add Gilliman Flesh to the face. Make sure it doesn't poo. And that's the guide. Make sure you leave me a comment below on what you would like to see next time. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.